So many of you have asked, so I want to share the new way to write a book. If you've ever thought about writing a book in your life or you want to do it in the future, you're going to want to see this. Hey, it's Dean Graziosi. I'm a multiple New York Times best-selling author. Maybe you've seen Millionaire Success Habits. That's my newest book. It's on fire right now. Over 350,000 copies have been shipped. You can see it all over Instagram, Amazon, Facebook. It's doing amazing. But today, I want to show you how I wrote this book and why people are going nuts over it and how I extracted the information that I learned over the last 30 years of being an entrepreneur. Started over 15 successful companies. My brands and my companies have generated hundreds of millions of dollars. That's all great. We all have lots of knowledge and wisdom from our experience, but how do you extract that wisdom and then put it in a book where people read it and love it? Because I've read a lot of books from really awesome people, and the books were really shitty. And I've also read people that are so amazing, and they've spent 3 years trying to get their words out. And I think I've hacked the system. So again, if you've ever thought about writing a book or want to do one in the future, I want to show you a simpler process to do it. So the first thing, step one, is name it. I've never shared this before. Never shared this once before, but name the book first off, right? Whether it's going to be about your life, about your experience, you should be writing a book if you're a chiropractor, if you're a doctor, you're an online marketer, whatever you do, a book is a great calling card to show that I'm a badass. Like when you read this, you realize I didn't get lucky. I didn't find a magic money machine. I wasn't born with money. There was a process, but if I just wrote this book about me, it wouldn't be on fire. I shared my experiences, but the experiences have to relate to the end user. When you read it, you want to say, I'm glad this guy's cool, but how does it relate to my life? If it's all about me, you're like, yeah, glad you did a good job, Dean, but what's that for me? So just think about that in your mind. What's your experiences that can allow them to go faster, go quicker, change their life, make an impact, lose the weight, make the money, whatever it is, right? So first off, you have to name it. But here's the part where I think everybody messes up. Everybody thinks about writing a book from start to finish. I want you to look at it completely different. Whatever your expertise is, whatever you want to write on, or maybe if you share or riffs, I call it a riff when you're talking to a friend, right? So say you're talking to a friend and they need advice because you're great with relationships and you want to write a book on relationships. What are the riffs that you know through years of experience or through wisdom or through what you've read or the capabilities that you've created that you share with people the most? I call that riffs. So, your riffs. I'm going to just spell it with 2 F's because I don't really know. What are your riffs? Now, what I do is I go in my phone and I write down the riffs. So let's look at Millionaire Success Habits. Let's take it for example. I first came up with the things I like to talk about. So the time is right to change your habits. Of course, that's the setting of the book. But the foundation for all success, I truly believe I love talking about what the core of success is. I love talking about, in chapter number 3, I talk about the villain within. I all believe we have self-doubt that lives in us from parents, from teachers, from the news, and it's holding us back. So I just wrote down the villain within. That was a riff, right? The riffs are going to turn into chapters. I love talking about the power of your story. Have a bad story. The biggest thing holding you back from where you are to where you want to go is the story you tell yourself on why you can't get it. So I went deep on that, but I'll share that in a minute. The power of story. Awaken the inner hero. That's living your best self all the time, right? One shining goal, attraction and persuasion. That's marketing and sales. After the yes, that's like after you get a client and you want to start a business. Most people don't build the reciprocity after. Again, the power of happiness, the quick hacks to success, and my big challenge. Now, the reason I shared these chapters with you is because these are riffs that I love talking about. They're passionate to my heart. So when I started writing Millionaire Success Habits, I just wrote down the things that I love to talk about. The chapters that I just shared with you. And in fact, I put them in my phone, under the notes section in my phone, and I just left them there. Those chapters lived way before this book. Now, here's what happens. Even if you name it and you got your riffs, you got your chapters, what happens is you start thinking, which one goes first? And then you sit down and you think you have to write in this chronological order from start to finish in the flow. It's not how I did it. So here's the secret. You ready for this? I love talking about what I do. I love sharing it. So I wrote down all those chapters way in advance. Then whenever I was inspired about each one of those riffs. Maybe the power of your thoughts. If you read my book, I have a story about the power of change and being the observer of my thoughts and how it impacted a story with my daughter one time that has changed my life and changed hers. When that moment happened and I realized the power of my thoughts, and then a week later, something in business, my thoughts were taking me in the wrong direction. I switched my thoughts, business boomed. I'd literally reach in my phone. I go to the section to do a voice memo, which every phone pretty much nowadays has the opportunity to do a voice memo. And I literally have pulled over on the side of the road. I've walked in a quiet place. I walked out in a park by the office here. I recorded so much of this book in all these different places, being at the mall, being inspired, and just running outside and sitting in my car and recording. I hit record and I talk. This is the power of your thoughts. This story of your life will be your life. If you think you can't, whatever. And I just go on a riff and I just talk for 45, 50 minutes and then I hit done. And that's one of the chapters. So then I just take it and I send it off to Rev, R-E-V. It's an app where you take the audio and you just text it or email it to them. And by half a day, super cheap, they send you back the transcription. Now for me, I would get back the transcription. I'd give it to my nephew because he's really good at writing, and I just let him clean it up and put the punctuations and grammar where it need to go. And then it comes back to me, and then I just tweak it to sound like a flow. So now I have all these riffs, which were the chapters of Millionaire Success Habits. This is the inside scoop, guys. And all of a sudden those chapters, I riffed on those, I got them transcribed, I got them back to me, and then I cleaned them all up. And then, after that was all done, after the pieces of the puzzle were all done, then it was time to assemble. I was like, wow, if I want to give somebody a journey to the next level of success by gaining these new habits, what would they need to know first? Oh, that one goes here. Oh, this chapter should go here. And all of a sudden, I placed all the pieces of the puzzle in the right order. So the third thing is place the order. So then I just put them all in order the way they needed to be. And then once that was done, then I read the whole thing to weave it together. Now you're just going to weave together. Sorry, the sloppy writing, that's really not what matters. But in these 4 steps, weaving it together is literally just creating a harmony that these different riffs, these different chapters, these different things that you love to talk about all fit together. Now listen, some things that you do, I'll be transparent. In the chapter everyone loves the most, in chapter 2, is the 7 levels deep exercise to get into your heart, get out of your head, get into your heart, and figure out why you want more out of life. I don't care if you've ever tried it before. I don't care if you've ever done a purpose exercise or a why exercise. Nothing compares to the 7 levels deep. When I learned it, it changed my life and it'll change yours. Now, that's a habit, but it kind of is not a habit. The 7 levels deep is an exercise, but I wrote it in a way to match so it becomes a habit in your life. So when you name your book, if you have something you love to talk about, but it doesn't really fit, then adjust it so it becomes a habit, a principle, a theory, a secret, a strategy. Do you understand that? So now all of a sudden you weave it together because you placed it in order, then you weave each chapter to roll into the next. And now you have a coherent book. There is nothing in my life that I feel impacts people more like a book, especially those of you that are readers. We can go figure things out on our own, we can struggle, or we can take the vast knowledge of other people. If you want to learn how to drive a sailboat or man a sailboat from here to the Caribbean, I'm not your guy. I don't know how to do that. If you want to learn how to paraglide, if you want to learn how to jump out of planes, you want to learn how to climb mountains, I'm not your guy. Go read a book from somebody who's amazing at that. But if you wanted to learn how to have the principles to be successful, not look for the magic get rich overnight thing, if you want the foundation for wealth, the foundation for success, then you should read my book. And if you're an online marketer, you're a chiropractor, you're a dentist, you're a doctor, you're a construction worker, whatever it is that you do, if you're an expert at it, this is the time when knowledge is so powerful. I truly believe especially with the new Generation Z growing up online, this is the time that people need and want self-education. Why would you go learn from on your own and fail miserably when I've already failed way too many times? But then I learned what's working and I put it in this book. Same thing for you. If you want to write a book, This is how you get started. I feel so blessed. This book, over 350,000 copies have been shipped. I feel so amazing. And if Millionaire Success Habits is something that would be exciting for you, if you're looking for another level of wealth, not the magic money machine, the foundation to get there, to take your business to the next level, to scale, or to start that business you've always been thinking of, you didn't know where to start, it starts with the habits. You can grab this book. Actually, right on this page, there's a link below that you can get this book for free. Yeah, for free. I already paid for it, the hardcover. All I ask is you cover the shipping and handling, and we also included some crazy, crazy bonuses. Now, you can go to Amazon too. You can get the Kindle and the audio version and the book there. Right now, it's there for $26. You can read all the 5-star reviews. People are going nuts over this book. Or you can just click the link below, grab a copy. We'll send it to you if you'll just cover the shipping and handling. I'm Dean Graziosi. Get out there and write a book. It'll change your life, and you get to change other people's lives. And if you want mine, click the link.